Sean said, hey, I have the same microwave at my house. And I'm like,
so realistic. I thought it was part of the set.
I had to look at him because that was really embarrassing.
how does it feel to be sitting next to a big picture of yourselves?
I'm not mad at that picture. And also, this food looks really good. I made it. So I'm like patting myself on the back for that.
Yeah, you guys are super busy. You're doing a ton of stuff since you guys were on The Bachelor. Did everyone watch their season of The Bachelor? The most successful season ever, I think. But you are now partnering with Bertolli for, I think it's Italian Heritage Month?
It is.
So how did you get involved?
Well, my heritage, I'm Filipino, but I'm also Italian. And actually, Samuel's name came from my Italian roots. It's Italian Heritage Month now, but my dad's grandpa, Samuel Giudici, is where we got our son's name. So that's the Italian part in me.
And she likes to cook dinner, and I like to eat it, so it works out perfect.
Yeah, it's very Italian.
Sean, you look very Italian. Are you Italian?
Yeah, right. No one has accused me of being Italian.
Accused? It's a great thing.
Great thing to be Italian. But you like Italian food.
I love it. I love all food, but especially Italian food, yes.
So are you clearly the cook in the house?
Oh my gosh. I mean, he was just on Worst Cooks in America, and he was kicked off. So we'll see who, I mean, it's obvious.
I'm a terrible cook.
He's
but the
very
deal
bad.
at our house is if she cooks dinner, I'll do the dishes, and I think that's pretty fair.
That's the #1 rule in my house, too. Except when I don't feel like doing the dishes and my husband cooked, too. And I'm like, well, you got to do both then. I'm
That's
tired.
just what you decided.
Yeah. You can't even cook, though. You can't even heat up Bertolli's sauce.
She needs to give me a little bit of credit. I can do a few things.
I can guide him. He was my sous chef earlier this morning, but
Compared to her, I'm a terrible cook.
he's very bad. But it's fun. It's fun because I love to cook. What we're talking about today is Bertolli Rustic Cut marinara sauce, and that's different because it has like really chunky vegetables that are still crisp somehow. And because, it's in a jar, you think, maybe they'll be soggy or something, but they're really good. So you can really just add really anything. But I came up with this really good braised chicken in the roasted garlic, rustic cut marinara sauce, and with some whole wheat linguine. So it's a really, really good recipe. I hope you check it out. I perfected it. Has white wine in it even. So
Yeah, you always need wine, us Bachelor fans.
I can tell it's a white wine crew here.
So have you always been a cook, or was it something like in childhood you used to do with your parents, or?
Oh, I've done it since I can remember. My dad was a really good cook, and he started me out on breakfast. And breakfast, eggs are kind of hard to make and to make really well. And so I did that, and I started understanding different cuisines. My parents met in Japan, and they traveled the world, and so they brought a lot of different influences in our house. Like, I never once had meatloaf in my house. He had really good meatloaf. His mom does really good meatloaf, but I was making falafel as a kid, and calamari, and really different, like somen, which is a Japanese dish. So I learned very different techniques. I learned different flavors, and I just love it. It's a creative outlet for me, and I get to do it every night. He doesn't care what I make. I get to make whatever I want, and it's really, really fun.
Is that something that attracted you to Catherine, is her ability to cook well?
On The Bachelor, unfortunately, I didn't get to taste any of her cooking.
So it was a bonus.
You just don't do that. But
like
it was
you guys don't taste any cooking on The Bachelor.
It was a nice added bonus to find out that my fiance is an amazing cook as well.
Oh, it's so weird to see you guys here because I'm like, oh, they were so great on The Bachelor. It's awesome.
And now they suck. No,
so back to Rustic Cuts. What is it about, are there different jars? Are there different ways that you can use the sauce in different recipes?
I mean, of course. I like the roasted garlic just because I'm a huge garlic fan. And so that one's one of them. He would probably like the sweet peppers one. Yeah. There's a sweet peppers one, and it all has garden cut vegetables, which is like the carrots and the onions and the sweet peppers in this one. But that would
go a little more spicy.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a spicy marinara sauce. I like ones that I can kind of add different elements to it. So like the garlic and the regular marinara sauce. But yeah, there's really good ones. And I would probably put it on pizza. You could just try out a ton of different things. It's really good for kids. If you're cooking for kids, there's hidden vegetables in it, and they're really, really good, and they'd have no idea. But Samuel eats anything anyway. But I'm sure when we get older, he's probably going to be hiding from vegetables.
Do you think he himself could grow up to be a chef or a cook, or is he going to take after Sean?
I hope he takes after me.
It'd be cool if he took after you.
He literally eats anything. He loves green juice. He'll drink like my hardcore green juice. So I know he enjoys food. He enjoys flavor. He'll choose the flavorful thing over the just bland thing any day. And it's really interesting. It's really, really cool as a mom to see, hey, do you think he'd like this? We actually made the mistake of giving him Indian food once. He loved it. Oh, he loved it, but he did not love it the next couple days. And we didn't either. That
We
was
didn't
really
love it, yeah.
sad. It was very upsetting.
We're sorry we didn't warn you.
I know. I was like, oh my gosh,
We
he's
thought he
totally
could handle the spicy
enjoying
curry.
this.
He
So
could not.
bad. Do not do that if you have a newborn.
Lots of diapers, huh? Lots of diapers.
Wow.
Lots of crying.
How has Parenthood been for you guys? It seems wonderful when we follow you on Instagram. He's the cutest little boy.
It's been a lot of fun. I mean, it's been a learning experience. There was a lot of things, just it's on the job learning basically. But I mean, he's the sweetest little boy. You can tell he's kind-hearted. It sounds funny because he's only 15 months old, but you can just tell he's a sweet boy. He loves mommy and daddy. That's the most important thing. And we just have
food.
We have fun every day. Like my life's mission is to make him laugh as much as possible. So that's kind of my role as a dad. What can I do to make Samuel laugh today?
And document it and have
And-
everybody else like it. They are great videos. I'm always the one behind the camera. But it's so much fun to watch him and Samuel make each other laugh. And I mean, it is a very precious thing. We love our baby. I recently said that Samuel and I are best friends, and we're supposed to be best friends, and we are. So I said, can we all three be best friends? Maybe that. So it'll work like that, just for a little bit, I'm sure.
What has surprised you the most about Parenthood that maybe you weren't expecting or that's taken you off guard?
From time to time you hear that, being a parent's really hard and you've got to alter your life. But until you're a parent, it doesn't really sink in. And so we've had to dramatically alter the way we live, the way I work, the hours I work, what time we go to bed, because we know he's going to wake up at 6 in the morning, regardless of what time we go to bed. So we better go to bed early. We can't go out to dinner with friends whenever we want because Samuel has a bedtime. And you always have to be conscious of him and his needs. And it just completely alters the way you live.
Yeah.
But it's also super rewarding, so I don't want it to sound negative. It is rewarding.
I know, he won't let us go to the movies. And
I know.
We can't watch our shows all
Our
the time.
favorite thing to do was go to the movies. That was kind of our thing. And now, obviously, we can't do that. So, you just have to change the way you live a little bit.
Yeah. And then eventually the movies you go to will be kids' movies.
No, we have a long way to go.
That's right up her alley, though. She loves those.
I love Disney movies.
But once he goes to bed, I'm sure you can put on Netflix or something. And
Yeah, but then we go into that spiral of like, how many hours are we gonna binge watch? This or that, Game of Thrones, and then we know he's gonna wake up at 6. So we used to be able to stay up until like 2 or 3. Like, oh, we need another one. We need another one. Like, I can't wait another week. But I know we're like, I can only do one a night. It's lame. We're lame.
it seemed to be like a Bachelor baby boom in the past year too. A lot of people had babies from Bachelor Nation.
So many. Alie Fedotowsky and I were on Fit Pregnancy when we were pregnant, and there were like 8 girls within the franchise that were all pregnant with us.
It was like Desiree and Emily, and is that exciting though for you guys to see? Clearly you see it because you guys were a success from the show, but is it cool to see like friends and fellow contestants kind of have success and now have families, like even Jade and Tanner? It's been cool.
Yeah, and then Carly and Evan are expecting, and it's really fun just because we know that it can work for Bachelor couples. It's really, really hard, and it's kind of this little club where you're like, okay, I totally get it. It's a very hard process to come out of. Obviously, that's why the success rate is very low, but it's when you get there, you're like, oh my gosh, I get you. Like, I feel you. I see that, you're going through all of this. But we're just happy for everybody because having a child is really, really fun and really exciting and a precious gift. So we're happy for all the people that get to do it.
Yeah. And what's it been like for you? You guys are amazing tweeters, especially during Bachelor season. I'm looking right at Sean because I'm like, I love Sean's tweets. Any of those tweets get you in trouble or like... you just kind of have
he
fun
usually
with
runs them by me.
I definitely have rubbed Bachelor contestants the wrong way. Probably a whole lot of them, but I don't care. When you do The Bachelor, I was talking about this earlier today, is The Bachelor's a very silly show. Like, it's ridiculous. Take 25 women, put them in a house, they're all competing for one guy. It's silly, and they kind of edit it to be silly also. And obviously, they're talking about love and more important things, but I mean, it is at its core a very silly show. So I like to just poke fun at it, poke fun at the contestants who are trying too hard or, come off as just kind of skeezy or whatever the case may be. But yeah, a lot of contestants have caught wind of these tweets, and I don't think they appreciate them, but whatever, I don't care. I'm like the old man now. I can say whatever I want. No repercussions.
It's true though how much the show has changed, especially in the way of social media, because now even contestants who are on the show
For like
can
a
tweet
day.
throughout
Yeah.
while the show's airing. What's it been like for you guys to see that change and how it's affecting The Bachelor?
My cynical point of view is it's probably not good. Maybe not so much Twitter as Instagram, because people know, okay, if I go on the show and if I'm the loudest person there, if I cause the most drama, I'll get the most attention, I'll get more Instagram followers, and then maybe I can promote teeth whitener or something like that. So I think it has been detrimental in a sense. This is probably me just being the old man that I am, saying back in our day, things were different, but I just got the sense that the crazy ones on my season were crazy because they were literally crazy. Yeah. And they weren't trying to get an Instagram following. But who knows? That's just me being cynical, maybe.
Yeah, and I feel bad because these girls are upping their game. They are flawless. Like, you don't have a stylist. You don't have makeup people. So that's what they really look like. I'm so glad I was not on it any of these seasons.
You looked great on your season.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But this time it's like, it's a filter on everybody in person. And it's just different. It's very different. Instagram, they're models. Everybody is a model. And so that would make me worried as a girl.
Because as you watch the show, you're like, how are these women so perfect? Like, are there any normal women on the show?
No, that's what I'm like. It's very, very different from when we were on. Just because we didn't have, Instagram just came about right when our season was airing, and it wasn't a huge thing. But now that's what it's about, and you want people to, continue that. We wanted to stay the way that we were, which was, I never really wore makeup a bunch. I never really even washed my hair at all. And I want to keep that because I don't want any pressure to be anything different than I am. So I feel a little bit bad for some of these girls because they have to keep it up.
Yeah.
That's hard. Forever. I know, or else it's like that, before and after kind of stuff. And I don't like it.
And I feel like the drama gets upticked too because of social media, and then
But that's kind of fun.
yeah, we all
that one's fun.
We do watch the Bachelor franchise for the drama, correct? And there was some drama, not drama, but a little bit of a change because Arie is the new Bachelor who you were on together.
Yeah, 5 years ago.
Another old man.
I know. He's an actual old man. He's got a head of gray hair.
No, I'm kind of excited
Cool.
though
Salt and
because
pepper's good.
they're going back and kind of getting a guy who actually might want to find love, because I feel like the last few guys, maybe they weren't totally into the idea of actually getting married and making this work.
Yeah, well, that's the predicament that the show runs into is maybe this 26 or 27-year-old makes it to the end. The audience falls in love with him, so they want him to be the next Bachelor. But in real life, he might not be ready to settle down, even though maybe in that situation he thinks he is. So I do think Arie's a pretty good choice. I like the older guy, 36. I definitely know he's a good buddy of mine, that he would like to find a wife and have kids and move on to the next chapter of his life. So I think he's going to be a good Bachelor. I think people will like him. He's kind of quirky. He's kind of nerdy in a way, but it's in a way that's endearing. And even though a lot of people maybe didn't watch back then or have forgotten him, I think they'll be reminded really quickly why everybody liked him the first go-around.
Yeah, I think people will be surprised. I mean, in the beginning of him being the Bachelor, or even casting for that, when I was in casting, which was a really long time, it was between Arie and Sean. And in my head, I was like, I'm not really interested in Arie. I don't like bad boys. Obviously.
But you married a bad boy.
Yeah.
That is the funniest thing. Everyone's laughing. That's the biggest laugh we've got.
Not a
It's
joke.
hilarious. I like the nice, very square ones.
Sean, you're square?
She's trying to put me in her box. She knows I don't belong
That
in
square
that
box
box.
is a square box. No, but Arie, I've gotten to know him over the years, and he's not a bad boy. He is a very nice boy. But he's also, he's very serious and emotional. I don't want to say this sounds bad about Arie, but he's kind of emotional in terms of that he's really passionate about finding a woman. And I think he'll be surprising to a lot of people that might have been like on the fence about it or really not happy about it. I think he'll surprise people because he's really interesting, and I think he'll be serious about these women.
I mean, it's the emotional guys and the guys who are more connected that tend to be greater television anyway, like Sean. And Ben Higgins, I have to say, was a great Bachelor because they're genuine and they actually do feel for all of you girls. And in the end, they pick, hopefully, the right woman. I mean, I'm so upset about Ben and Lauren, but you never know who's going to work out.
I know.
Yeah, well, it's hard, as she kind of touched on. It's hard. You meet someone on a TV show, that's super hard, and then you usually come from 2 different cities. Just there's nothing easy about
Right.
it. So I'm actually amazed at how many couples have gotten married? 4 or 5. I'm amazed that many have gotten married.
I mean, you literally don't have each other's phone number until after you have a ring on your finger. It is bizarre. And they're like, ooh, can I text you? Can I get your number? Like, really, it's just a backwards reality. And so these relationships are not set up to succeed, really. But, I mean, obviously the Bachelor wants them to, and you two want them to. But there's a lot against you.
But then, you know, The Bachelor leads to so many great things like your partnerships and what you're able to do. And then you get to do maybe things like Bachelor Winter Games. What is this? And it's not Bachelor in Paradise. Now they're taking it to like the ski slopes for a little competition.
I really don't know the premise of the show. Do you? I know it's mimicking the Winter Olympics, and it's going to be goofy and ridiculous.
During the Olympics. We're not on it.
So you guys aren't on it?
No, but we should be.
Asked. Nobody cares about us.
No,
what? Sean, I feel like, you know, being a square guy, you'd be perfect for this show.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know how that correlates, but he's athletic.
Offended.
I would root you on.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we need to make some calls.
Yeah, I know.
Like
someone make some calls.
It would be fun if they had like couples versus couples on Bachelor Winter Games.
I know.
Chris Harrison, are you watching?
If it's Bachelor related, though, it's someone at some point's hooking up, and that's why they don't want the old married couple.
Maybe that's why.
Do you think it's going to be like Bachelor in Winter instead of Bachelor in Paradise, where like former contestants can kind of, it's like road rules, real world challenge?
I think it's kind of like that, where it's like the gauntlet or whatever. But that'll just be interesting anyways. I loved that show.
So basically, nobody knows. It's all speculation.
I know. Has anyone even come out with anything? I think it's really just in talks.
For some reason, I just thought Sean would be on Winter Games.
I know, because he's, because of the glacier with the hair and the white hair.
And because Bachelor puts me on everything.
Yeah. Except
now people are like, oh, Sean again.
Yeah, that's why we're not
home.
on it.
Move on with your life.
Hey, we love seeing you, Sean.
Again, the curmudgeon right here.
Because we like to see what you guys are up to. That's always fun, is when you kind of, get to see the couples that have lasted and have families now, and that's always exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys weren't around for Bachelor in Paradise. Would you have gone on, if you guys didn't end up together, would you have done that?
No way. No way.
No way.
Little too
It's
sketchy.
a cool vacation. Yes. It looks like a really fun vacation, but we've also heard about like the horrible bathroom situations that you have to go. I mean, it's just
no air conditioning.
No, just bad.
That's
Everything
bad
sounds
enough,
bad.
but just it's the whole premise.
Well, I mean, it's still fun to watch. I would not go on it, but it is
so
fun to watch.
It's so
Nice
fun
and
to live
dirty.
tweet. Again, back to your live tweets. You guys are good on that show, too.
Yeah, he might not be allowed to watch Paradise. A little too dirty.
So back to you were on The Bachelor and now you get to do cool things like partner with Bertolli. So what are some of the things since you've been on the show that you've been really proud to be a part of? I know, Sean, even you were, down in Houston after the hurricane and you put your own life at risk to help others, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, it has opened up a lot of doors, and we get to do a lot of cool opportunities. And we look at our lives, and we're so thankful because, here we are in a studio in New York City, and this is something 5 years ago I never would have imagined like my life would look like this. And so we try to take it in stride, and because we get to do a lot of cool things, we try to be as thankful as we possibly can. And as far as going down to Houston, that was just something I kind of did on a whim, and I'm glad I could help out my fellow Texans down there. But I don't know what to say outside of we live a very blessed life, and we're trying to enjoy every second of it, and we certainly don't take it for granted.
Yeah, we have wonderful fans. I mean, the reason why he got a boat was because he tweeted out to someone he have a boat, and someone volunteered their boat. So we have a platform to be able to speak to people on that type of level, and it's very rewarding.
And like we joke around on social media, and we take goofy pictures, and I make a lot of jokes and stuff like that. But we do take a lot of pride in the sense that people through social media, they still feel like they can follow us. And I think for the most part, people would say they respect us and maybe respect the fact that we approach life differently than maybe some other people do, in a way that, we get people that say, hey, I'm glad I let my teenage daughter follow you guys or watch you guys on the show because you guys stand for everything that we stand for. And that's cool. We take a lot of pride in that.
Yeah. And do you think there's something about, even living in Texas versus LA or New York that can kind of keep you grounded in that way?
I think so.
Yeah, and just that we're with his family all the time, and we're just normal people. And, if we were pursuing something else in those different cities, it would be a little bit not distracting, but it would be very, very different from the way that we live now.
And yeah, we're just normal people, and we have our friends and family in Dallas who treat us like they always have. So they keep us grounded for sure. And we consider ourselves normal people that just get the opportunity to do cool things from time to time.
And who met on reality TV. It's such a cool
bizarre. That is completely
It still
weird.
doesn't feel real. Like sometimes we'll stop and say, like, can you really believe we met on The Bachelor? Because it feels like she's probably someone I just met in real life and dated for a while, and then we got engaged. But no, we dated over the course of 3 months, and there were 25 other women involved.
Perfect. When you think back on the height of it all after you were announced as, his fiance and you guys were out on the press tour, like when you think back on that time, does it seem like a lifetime ago?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it was even our life. Like it's such a different, surreal situation. I mean, you can't imagine after 4 months of wanting a ring on your finger in terms like being able to say this is my fiance, the day that you get to. It's a very bizarre feeling because you have to tell the whole world, but you have been waiting for 4 months in secret to talk about your fiance, and your whole life has changed. So it definitely seems very, very different because that wasn't normal, but we are very normal now.
Yeah, we couldn't wait to go out into public and have like our first official date. And we were in LA at the time, and I took her to a restaurant, and it was like a pretty nice restaurant. It's kind of where it's quiet. It wasn't real loud inside, and it was romantic. And this woman, she must have been from Jersey or something, walks in, and she's like, "Hey, it's The Bachelor." I'm just like this, because I just wanted it to be about us, and then she's drawing all this attention. But
You'll always be The Bachelor, Sean.
that will
Always
never
will.
escape me. Like, my name is not Sean to most people. It's, "Aren't you the guy from The Bachelor?"
Sean Lowe, like you said, you only
Sean Lowe,
call him
that's what
Sean
I call
Lowe.
him
Yeah.
Sean Lowe.
Well, I do want to get to some audience questions. So who's first? Here we go.
Hi, Sean and Catherine.
Hi.
It's really nice to meet you. I just wanted to say that I really enjoy following your family's lives and even your family's lives. But my question is, now that it's been a few years since your Bachelor season, what were the most, positive aspects, like the highlights in the ways that it's affected your life? How do you enjoy that, as well as, what are the most difficult challenges, and how do you cope with those things?
Yeah. Well, obviously, I mean, I met my wife, and my life has completely flipped upside down since deciding to be The Bachelor. So that's obviously the positive. From a negative perspective, I don't know. Sometimes, yeah, for the most part, there's not a lot of negativity because the people that follow us are really sweet, like yourself, and they say nothing but really encouraging, positive things. But there's some times where I wrestle with, should I be putting this video on Instagram, or should I just share it as a family memory? Like, does the whole world need to see it? But overall, I think we share a lot of our little intimate moments at home with our son because of the fans and because they've been so supportive, and they're very loving and encouraging and things like that. So it almost feels like, in a way, it sounds kind of cheesy, but like they're a part of our extended family.
Yeah, I wouldn't say anything negative. I think that we've been so blessed over the years, and with supportive, encouraging, loving people that want to come up and give us a hug, and they're like, "I'm sorry, I didn't." It feels like I know you. And they do. You guys know us. Like, you got to see the first time we saw each other, the first time we kissed, our vows. And it's just a very precious thing. Like he said, we love to share our lives because you guys got to be there from the beginning. And we just feel like whenever anybody comes up to us, it's legit. And we feel very honored for that because we're not playing a part. And so if someone feels compelled to come talk to us, they like us for who we are. And that's very validating. And it's just, again, very encouraging. And it feels so good.
Yeah,
So
and
we appreciate that.
To her point, like when we had a boxer named Lola, and we loved Lola. And it came to a point where we had to put her down. And it was super difficult for us and very sad. And we put a little picture of Lola on Instagram and just kind of telling people, hey, we had to make the decision to put Lola down. But everybody was so supportive and encouraging, and it really made us feel better. And so that's part of that family.
Lola was on the show, wasn't she?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Lola made an appearance, yeah.
Yeah, she was. Who's next?
Hi. So you kind of talked briefly on how some contestants now might be acting a little more crazy or feeding into drama. Do you think that's made casting harder to pick people that are genuinely looking for something?
Yeah, I do think it's made casting tougher. So to kind of take you behind the curtain for a second, I think the people in charge of casting, they know, like, okay, we're going to cast a handful of women
formula.
who are good potential matches for The Bachelor. We also need a big handful of women that are going to make compelling TV and who are going to cause drama and are going to act crazy. And so they definitely want that. But it probably does make it harder for them to weed through the ones who they think would actually want to settle down and be a good potential match.
There's also another category, which is the token Filipino. That's who I was. I wasn't crazy for TV, and I was definitely not somebody that you would go for. So I'm grateful for that.
Me too.
Hey, he went for you. Who's next? This last one.
Hi. Has the Bertolli partnership inspired you to make more home-cooked meals rather than going to a restaurant?
Yes, it's inspired my wife.
Sean does
That's why I was like, I always cook.
I told you, I love it when she cooks because she's an amazing cook, and I love eating. So thanks to Bertolli, we're doing a lot more, especially pasta dishes. Like
Yeah.
I'm such a fat kid at heart, and I love my carbs. So the more pasta, the better.
Yeah. After Bertolli asked us to partner with them, I really got to test a lot of Italian dishes that I didn't really think about for a while. And so that's been really, really fun. I mean, I would probably not, if I didn't have these really easy pasta sauces that have chunky vegetables already in them. I mean, it takes a long time to figure out exactly what vegetables go with what proteins and, you know, all the different balances. And so it's really inspiring. I love to be inspired by food, and like, I probably wouldn't put sweet peppers with my marinara sauce and with sausage, but because they have the sweet peppers marinara already, I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's an easy fix. I'll just put the sausage in it and kind of test something out. So I am a creative cook at home, and I love that these sauces, there's 4 different sauces right now in the Rustic Cut that already have vegetables in them, and that makes my life way easier because I just have to cook a protein, cook him a bunch of pasta, and add the sauce. So it's a really, really great solution for families, for college kids, for anyone that's really wanting a balanced meal.
Well, I think you guys should go on Instagram and have Sean make some sort of Bertolli dish and see how he does. Come on,
Well,
you can't burn
I would
pasta.
actually
I'll
really
tell you what
like
I'll do.
that, and I'll be honest
boil
with
some
him.
pasta, and then I'll put the Bertolli pasta sauce on top.
Yes.
Spaghetti. Done.
Spaghetti.
I'm gonna look for that Instagram
I don't
story.
know if that. Okay, whatever.
Well, we loved having you guys here. You're
Thank
so
you
much fun
so
to be
much.
around.
Thank you.
And good luck with this partnership and
Thank
everything
you.
else. I hope you're a fan.